Frost permeated the air, a group of figures standing in the middle of a snow-covered clearing. The only noise was the screech of the wind as the figures glanced in every direction. "Where did those kids go?" one asked, brandishing a sword. "Who cares? The moment they reappear, blow them to bits!" another shouted, producing a handful of explosive tags. "Ice style! Crystal ice mirrors!" The group of bandits turned towards each other, a circle of clear ice appearing at their feet. In a flash of yellow, 2 of the men were kicked in the face, knocked unconscious. "Reverse body flicker jutsu!" The remaining bandits found themselves knocked to the ground by a giant fist. Naruto landed beside Choji, the two looking at their handiwork. "Good job," Shikamaru called out, him and Ino appearing from the horizon. The 4 shinobi wore thick white coats to defend against the cold. Choji used his partial expansion jutsu to carry the targets, the group turning towards the distant town. "I see you're able to use that mirror jump like Haku," Shikamaru muttered as they walked. Naruto nodded, looking straight ahead. It had been 2 months since the battle for the Hidden Mist. Winter had reached its peak, meaning sea-rank missions were in high demand. Bandits often used the bad weather to commit crimes. That's why Naruto and Team 10 were defending a small village. It was on the border between the Land of Fire and the Land of Earth. Asuma had another mission to take on, giving leadership to Naruto and Shikamaru, as they were both Chunin. It had been almost 6 months since the Chunin exams, so Naruto was looking forward to his first mission as a leader. Fortunately, he was paired with Team 10, who didn't despise him. "I sense a straggler on the other side of that hill," Ino whispered, nodding her head in its direction. Ino had been learning to improve her sensory abilities. Naruto trusted her instincts, motioning that he would take care of the enemy. Shikamaru nodded, him and the others moving to the village. Naruto dashed away, pulling his hood over his blonde hair. He ran around the hill in a blur, sneaking up on the man before he could draw a weapon. One punch was all that was needed to take care of him. Naruto looked around, focusing on his eyes. Recently, he'd also began improving his senses. Karin was teaching him to use an Uzumaki power she had since birth. He found it difficult and couldn't sense defined figures like Karin could. All he could do was sense lingering trails. After finding none, he created a clone to carry the bandit back to town. He found Ino and Choji warming themselves by the fire near the town center. "Where's Shikamaru?" "He said he wanted to ask the town chief about something," Choji answered. Naruto nodded, deciding to join them by the fire. He was careful to avoid the gaze of the civilians. They appreciated him and the others for their protection. However, they were hesitant of Leaf Shinobi. For many years, they had been under the Hidden Stone's protection, but for reasons that they wouldn't say, they decided to rely on the Leaf. The change was bound to cause some unease. "Look, that shinobi has blonde hair and blue eyes. It's just like their stories." Naruto glanced at the boy as he whispered to his mother. She proceeded to scold him, Naruto looking to Choji and Ino in confusion. "I guess not many people around here have those traits," Ino mused aloud. "That's normal in most places from what I've heard," Naruto replied, pulling down his hood. "I just happened to win the lottery in a way." "Then your parents must have had good genetics," Ino added, then realizing what she had just said. "Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't want to be insensitive." "Don't worry, Ino," Naruto smiled. "In fact, I've been meaning to tell you the truth for some time. Shikamaru has known for a while, but I wasn't sure until this mission that you should know." Choji raised an eyebrow. What, that your dad was the 4th Hokage? Both Naruto and Ino stared at the Akimichi, stunned. Naruto had his hands over Ino's lips before she could scream in surprise. "Keep it down, Ino," Naruto hissed. "I don't want everybody knowing." Ino took a moment to calm down, Naruto giving more information on Minato and Kushina. "How did you know, Choji?" Naruto finally got around to asking. "Hang out with Shikamaru every day, and he eventually lets things slip," he replied. Naruto sighed in acceptance, Ino sitting down beside him. "Why won't you tell the village?" "Because they'll think it's a lie, even if Tsunade said it herself. And even if they did believe it, it wouldn't change who I am in their eyes. It's better people come to their own conclusions." Ino frowned. "You just say that because you don't want to be a greater burden than you already are." Naruto looked at her confused. "I'm a Yamanaka. My clan specializes in reading minds. You don't want to hold people back. You'll do pretty much anything to help someone. Haku in the Hidden Mist, for example." Naruto looked away, eyes downcast. Ino was right, he knew that. He often tried to tell himself he did all that for selfish reasons, but he could never convince himself. "If I was selfish, I would have made Haku stay with me," he mused. The three ninja raised their heads at the same time, the sound of flying shuriken making them jump. This was the first time bandits were acting out in the open. Ino beckoned the civilians towards a building, Naruto and Choji dashing into the fray. Naruto threw a kick, only to have it blocked. Choji also found his kunai deflected. These men were stronger than the ones before. Naruto weaved hand signs, unleashing jets of water. 2 of the dozen men fell, Naruto activating soul speed. He dashed around them, landing a series of attacks. Choji sent the 4 flying with an enlarged fist. Scorch style, water killer. Naruto jumped above a sword slash, aiming a pair of precise shots. The pink flame struck the man's hand. They shriveled up, his sword falling to the ground. Naruto landed, a figure standing over him, katana raised. Shadow Possession Jutsu! The remaining thugs froze, Choji using their paws to slam them against a wall. Shikamaru walked out of the alley, deactivating his technique. Naruto used Earth Style to bind them, Ino extending her senses. "No one else is around," she confirmed. Naruto let out a breath. "Choji, stay with the civilians." "Ino, can you read one of their minds?" "For what reason?" Naruto shrugged. "Call it a hunch. Bandits aren't stupid enough to attack in broad daylight. They must have some ulterior motive." Ino nodded, stepping in front of the larger man. After weaving hand signs, she placed her hand on his forehead. After a moment, she gasped, stepping back. "They're shadow clones, all of them." "Who do they belong to?" Shikamaru asked. "I don't know, but whoever it is has very dense chakra if their clones were able to sustain that much damage." Naruto heard the sparks first, erecting a dome around the clones. A muffled explosion went off, meaning the clones were covered with explosive tags. "Naruto, we should get the civilians somewhere safer. If those were clones, then the real enemy must not be far behind. If they can use ninjutsu, these people aren't safe," Shikamaru muttered. Naruto nodded, about to give Ino and Choji orders. As he turned, a rush of heat came out towards him from above. His hair stood on end as he saw a pair of kunai fly towards Team 10. He had no time to worry about them, creating a water shield above his head. Steam formed as Naruto jumped towards his team. Choji used his arm to defend against the kunai, Naruto and Team 10 forming a circle. "I sense multiple chakra signatures, but they're all blurred," Ino stated. They must be using the transparency jutsu, Shikamaru grumbled. It requires a lot of chakra, so it's likely these guys are shinobi. The civilians are our priority, Naruto muttered, creating a pair of clones. Choji, go with my clones. They'll use Earth style to create a bunker of sorts. It'll be your job to keep everyone inside safe. On it, Choji replied, running off with the clones. Ino, we need you to focus on the enemy location, Shikamaru commanded. Ino nodded, bringing her hands together. Naruto began weaving hand signs, Shikamaru ready to move to his crouching position. I have them, the two heard Ino's voice in their heads. 2 on the far rooftops, 1 inching towards the house Choji and the people are in, and 2 more down that alley. Naruto tensed. Shikamaru, take the 2 on the roof. I'll go for those in the alley. If you can, Ino, warn Choji of the last. The group sprang into action. Naruto vanished, blending into the snow thanks to his cloak. Wind style, gale palm! The blast engulfed the entire alley, forcing 2 invisible figures against a wall. Snow fell on top of their heads, Naruto using the chance to weave more hand signs. Show yourselves, otherwise I'll be forced to harm you, Naruto shouted, holding a hand to his mouth. He knew that was an empty threat, but he was still hoping it would work. Unfortunately, it didn't. Kunai connected to steel wire flew towards him. He plucked them from the air, unleashing a fire across the wire. The figures were engulfed by it, using bursts of chakra to blow the flames away. The result also removed the transparency jutsu, the shinobi appearing before him. Earth style, stone fist! A hand sprouted from the snow beneath Naruto, throwing him out of the alley. He skidded to a halt a short distance from Ino and Shikamaru, who had his hands in the shadow possession hand sign. A string of darkness stretched from him to the roof, holding the 2 ninja. As the others appeared from the alley, Naruto took in their outfits. A gray vest, red pants, and 1 red sleeve. The other arm was exposed, the same side having a cloth covering the upper half of the leg. Lastly was the red headband, with the symbol for the hidden stone. Naruto pulled his hood down further. This is bad. We were told not to attack shinobi from the hidden stone if they showed up. They were the ones who attacked first. I think Tsunade will be fine if we defend ourselves, Shikamaru replied, facing the stone ninja. What is your business here? Tell us, and further conflict will be avoided. Let my men free, then we talk, one of their opponents countered. Naruto focused on the one speaking, a woman with short black hair and matching eyes. She wore fishnet tights and red gloves alongside her stone outfit. Tell your 5th member to move away from the civilians. I won't put them in the middle of a confrontation between us, Naruto declared. The woman's lips curled into a slight grin. Very well. She raised her arm, a figure appearing from thin air. They moved back towards the others. Choji came out of the house, joining his squads. Your clones have everyone safe, he informed. Shikamaru retracted his shadow, the stone ninja moving to form hand signs. Their leader stopped them with a wave of their hand, staring at the leaf shinobi. Naruto felt himself tense. Although they weren't attacking, he could feel the ki each of the stone ninja were giving off. My name is Kurotsuchi, the leader stated. We're here on a mission given to us by the Tsuchi Kage. What would the Tsuchi Kage want with this tiny village? Choji whispered to himself. The loss of this village to the leaf is not our concern, Kurotsuchi answered, surprising the Akimichi. We're here to capture a target. Then why attack us? Ino inquired. Why put the people in danger? We apologize for that, Kurotsuchi chuckled. However, we do have reasons for attacking you four. Shikamaru frowned. I don't like where this is going, he muttered. Naruto glanced at him, readying chakra in his feet. If something happened, he wanted to be ready. Kurotsuchi pulled out a scroll, unraveling it to reveal an image all four recognized immediately, the fourth Hokage's face. We are after the offspring of your last Hokage, Kurotsuchi stated. For what reason? Shikamaru asked, feeling Naruto's breath become shallow. Kurotsuchi put the scroll away. If I'm being honest, my friends here would like nothing more than to kill the child of the 4th Hokage. During the last great ninja war, he killed thousands of our shinobi. He's been the most hated man in our village's history, even more than our Jinchuriki. And you think the child of the 4th Hokage is here? Shikamaru added. A boy with blonde hair and blue eyes has been spotted in this village. We assume he's the son of the 4th. And what will you do if he is? Kurotsuchi frowned, running a hand through her hair, speaking in a whisper. I won't do anything, but we have orders to bring him back to the Hidden Stone, dead or alive. I don't share the same hatred that most do, so I won't attack him if he's here. My 4 teammates, however, are a different story. Shikamaru's eyes narrowed. She's an odd one, but at least that would only leave 4 opponents to deal with. But they haven't realized the one they're after is Naruto, since he has his hood and cloak. The Nara glanced at the Uzumaki. So, what are you going to do, Naruto? Sorry, Naruto finally said, but the person you're looking for isn't here. Not anymore. Kurotsuchi looked down at the boy, catching a glimpse of his eyes. Her own widened, a grin appearing on her face. Not anymore, huh? Then he was here earlier. Naruto nodded, pointing to the west. He went off in that direction shortly after your clones attacked us. He must have made sure not to let you see him. Kurotsuchi looked west. You seem quite willing to give him up. You'll find out why, Naruto stated, continuing to hide his face. Kurotsuchi nodded, turning to her squad. Leave the kids alone. Let's get moving west. But Commander, silence, the woman shouted. They're not our targets. As the Tsuchikage's granddaughter, I swore that only the 4th Hokage's child would be harmed. Without another word, Kurotsuchi and her men vanished in a burst of speed. After a brief silence, the young shinobi collectively let out a sigh of relief. Make sure the people stay in the village. I'll be back after I deal with those ninja. So, you are gonna fight them alone, Shikamaru groaned. Why am I not surprised? They'll find out I lied eventually. Then they'll come back, and a fight won't be avoidable. This way, you and the civilians stay out of harm's way, Naruto responded, producing a scroll. But we're your teammates, your friends, Ino blurted out. You heard what that Kurotsuchi lady said? And I've also heard about how much the Hidden Stone hates the 4th Hokage. Yeah, you don't need to fight by yourself, Choji added. We've got you back to the end. I appreciate that, really, Naruto smiled. But this is something I have to do alone, he insisted, as he turned back to walk east. Shikamaru scoffed, falling to the ground in frustration. You're no better than Sasuke, are you? Naruto stopped in his tracks, his hand gripping on the scroll tighter. Without another word, he vanished with the body flicker technique. He reappeared in a small clearing outside the town. The trees were covered in snow, blending the horizon into one white wall. So it was that brat, Naruto heard a man shout. Naruto turned around, now able to get a good look at the stone shinobi. Kurotsuchi stood in the back, 3 men and another woman in front of her. You're looking for the son of Minato Namikaze. Well, you found him. Now what? Naruto exclaimed. Kurotsuchi crossed her arms. I was expecting you to be young, but I also expected you to look less like a child. Sorry to disappoint, Naruto replied. So, are you going to kill me? We're ordered to take you back to the Hidden Stone alive, but I doubt Lord Tsuchikage will shed any tears if you're dead, Kurotsuchi answered, glancing at her companions. Have fun, and at least try to keep him alive. The other female of the group scowled. No promises. That damned Hokage killed my parents. I finally get the chance to take revenge. Agreed, the men shouted, all 4 ninja drawing katanas. Naruto closed his eyes as they dashed towards him from all sides. Their blades all crashed into the snow where Naruto once stood. He now hovered in the air, weaving hand signs. A fiery dragon flew towards his opponents, who all evaded the blast. Naruto landed behind the woman, throwing kunai. She cut them out of the air, delivering a series of attacks. Naruto used a burst of wind to block, ducking to avoid the horizontal slash of the tallest man. Wind style, air current dance. Naruto narrowly avoided the 4 blades as he and his opponents dashed around the clearing. He had yet to sustain any injury, and the rage of the stone ninja grew by the second. Earth style, Garden of Stone, the 4 cried in unison. The clearing became nothing more than pillars of rock. Naruto used boil style just in time to blast away the spikes before they struck him. He looked in every direction, unable to sense the enemy. His reflexes were the only thing that prevented him from being skewered by a pair of spikes that protruded from the rest. Boil style, Erupting Propulsion Fist! Naruto smashed through each spike with ease, creating a shadow cone which weaved hand signs. It then bit down on its thumb, an array of seals forming on the ground. Summoning Jutsu! The stone spikes, as well as many of the nearby trees, were flattened by the appearance of a giant toad. Naruto flew onto its head with soul speed, wincing slightly at the boss's voice. Why the hell have I been summoned in the middle of winter? Gamabunta grumbled. Sorry, Lord Gamabunta, Naruto answered. Oh, it's been a while, kid. I take it you handled the One-Tails and his Jinchuriki after I left you. Naruto nodded. I summoned you because of them. He pointed down at the 4 stone ninja, who now stood atop trees. They're after me because they know I'm son of the 4th Hokage. The toad boss laughed. So, you know the truth now too. Well, I owe Minato a favor or two, so I'll help you out with his old enemies. Gamabunta clapped his hands together, creating a small boom. Fire style, Toad Oil Bomb! The toad unleashed a sphere of toad oil from his mouth. The sphere shot towards the stone ninja, Naruto throwing an explosive tag. It went off, the oil bursting into violent white flames the size of the Hokage Tower. Naruto expected the stone shinobi to run away, or even be consumed by the flames. But what happened next, he didn't account for. Earth style, Fortress of Life. Gamabunta felt the ground tremble, making him jump back slightly. The 4 stone ninja were surrounded by a dome of earth. The wall was several meters thick and tall. Gamabunta's bomb struck the earth, requiring minutes for the flames to die down, revealing to have melted less than halfway through the dome. They defended against that? Naruto gasped. Gamabunta chuckled. The Hidden Stone are masters of Earth style. Every shinobi is capable of using even the basic defensive techniques. That skill is the reason the village has never been attacked directly. Even if I went all out, I would have difficulty tearing down their defenses. Naruto frowned, looking off into the distance. Thanks for trying, Lord Gamabunta. I'll handle the rest from here. You sure, kid? You're still only a Chunin, and those down there are high-ranking Jonin. I'm certain, Naruto nodded. Don't worry, I have a trick up my sleeve, though I regret I have to use it. If you end up seeing Pervy Sage, tell him I said hello. Gamabunta nodded before vanishing in a cloud of smoke. Naruto fell to the ground with a thud, jumping immediately into his stance when he found Kurotsuchi a few feet away. You've got a summoning contract. You keep piquing my interest, boy, she grinned. I never did get your name. The blonde frowned. Naruto Uzumaki. You don't take your father's name. Only my friends know my heritage. The leaf wouldn't like finding out who I am. Kurotsuchi folded her arms. Why is that? Naruto's eyes narrowed. Why are you so interested? Better yet, why aren't you attacking me? There must be a deeper reason than not having the same hatred for the fourth Hokage. Kurotsuchi sighed. I might be granddaughter of the Tsuchikage, but I've had to deal with my fair share of hatred. Two of my closest friends are the most feared people in my village, much to the Tsuchikage's disgust. Naruto raised an eyebrow. So, you don't hate me because you're friends with people who are already hated? The woman chuckled. It doesn't make much sense, I know, but my friends have been in your situation many times. I've seen a fraction of that kind of struggle. Yet you're still leading shinobi who are trying to kill me, Naruto countered. Only because my idiot grandfather thought it would straighten me out, Kurotsuchi muttered. You'll be happy to know that I'm slowing down my team with a small genjutsu, so you could just run away. I'll make sure they don't follow you, so you and your friends can return to the leaf. Naruto shook his head. This is something I have to deal with now. The hidden stone knows I exist now. Taking care of this encounter might encourage your people not to come after me, at least for a while. Kurotsuchi shrugged. I doubt that, but I admire your resolve. But my guys are top level. They've only just begun to show off their abilities. The two were silent for a moment, Naruto looking back towards the town and Team 10. Tell me, are those friends you mentioned earlier both Jinchuriki? Kurotsuchi blinked in surprise, forcing a firm nod. Why do you ask? Naruto shook his head. You'll find out when your friends get back, which should be any minute. As if on cue, the four stone ninja appeared across the clearing, each performing hand signs. Jets of fire and water, bolts of lightning, and pillars of stone. Kurotsuchi vanished via a body flicker. Naruto went on the defensive, weaving through the attacks with the combination of soul speed and flying phoenix. Water style, water dragon jutsu. Lightning style, lightning dragon jutsu. The dragons merged, violently tearing across the field, directly towards Naruto. The Bond raised his right hand, the scroll he'd pulled out earlier appearing in his left. He dropped the scroll, revealing an intricate ceiling array filling the entire page. The dragon struck Naruto with force he wasn't expecting. His feet dug into the earth, his hands forced together in a clap. He then slammed his hands on the scroll, the absorbed chakra flowing out of him in a single, agonizing instant. He let out a sigh of relief, now knowing Jiraiya's seal had worked. He'd made it for Naruto specifically to store absorbed chakra, so he didn't have to worry about releasing it and damaging himself. The only downside was that he didn't know what that absorbed chakra would ever be used for. But now wasn't the time to think about that. He looked up at his opponents, who had all rebrandished their blades. There's something else you should know about me, Naruto shouted, putting the scroll back in his pouch. The shinobi didn't seem to care, all dashing forward at blinding speed. Naruto closed his eyes, concentrating on his mind. Moments before he sensed the swords falling down on him, his eyes snapped open. Each katana stopped in its tracks, the stone ninja frozen in fear. Naruto's eyes had become blood red, pupils morphed into slits. A dark aura coated him, making his enemies jump back. He's a demon! It must be the nine-tailed fox, one stuttered out. Naruto took in a few deep breaths. By now, all the hidden villages must know what happened in the mist a few months ago. That Yagra, the Mizukage, was overthrown. I'm one of the people who defeated him. Impossible, the female shinobi spat. You're just a kid. There's no way even a demon could face a Hokage. Naruto's body tightened as a shadow clone appeared at his side. If you don't believe me, then I will have to show you why you cannot kill me. Naruto's clone began to move his hands as fast as possible, an orb of blue energy forming in his palm. Naruto concentrated once more, tapping into the slightest amount of the beast as possible. The orb began to glow a vibrant purple. Vermilion Rasengan. The clone popped, Naruto slowly walking forward. The stone ninja remained frozen. Naruto found it difficult to move, still not used to the density of his new Rasengan. The rumbling inside his head didn't help. Earth Style, Stone Golem Jutsu! Naruto looked behind his opponents, a being of stone forming from the ground beneath them. Naruto frowned as the entity, which was twice as tall as him, brought a pair of fists down to defend the stone shinobi. It must be Kurotsuchi's, Naruto thought. Naruto raised his Vermilion Rasengan, destroying the golem in a single blast. He had to jump away as Kurotsuchi ran in front of her team, leaving more hand signs. Lava Style, Liquid Stone. A stream of boiling magma came from her mouth, aimed in Naruto's direction. It was slow, allowing Naruto to create enough distance. Kurotsuchi gave him a wink and grin before glancing back at her team. We didn't expect the fourth child to also be a Jinchuriki. If we capture him, the likelihood of war breaking out becomes even greater. If we kill him, the Ninetales will run rampant and kill us all, she explained calmly to her squad. We are going home to report back to the Tsuchikage. No, one of the men denied. I don't care if there is a war, or if I die. All I want is to see that monster's offspring dead by my hands. Silence, Kurotsuchi demanded. I am this team's leader. We are leaving. If you wish to die by the power of the Ninetales, then I will not allow it. She looked back to Naruto. We'll meet again, someday. Naruto frowned, giving the slightest nod. The group of stone ninja vanished in an earth-styled body flicker, the clearing becoming silent once more. The blonde collapsed, mental fatigue settling in. He hadn't expected the battle to end as quickly as it did. He was fortunate to have talked with Kurotsuchi, otherwise he would have been in greater danger. I'm surprised you didn't try to make her come back to the village with you, a deep voice chuckled. Naruto looked up at the fox. She's friends with people like me, Jinchuriki. If I remember correctly, the Four Tails and Five Tails are in the Hidden Stone's possession. Your point? The fox grumbled. You don't care? My brothers can take care of themselves. Naruto frowned. It's like you don't care about them at all. What do you want me to do? Cry my eyes out? The fox snarled sarcastically. Don't mind him, another voice interrupted. He's always been the least emotional of the 9 of us. Naruto turned around. Ever since the fox told him he'd absorbed the consciousness of the Three Tails from Yagura, the room with the cage had changed. The other side of the room was now a wall of clear water. It started from the soaked floor and reached as high as Naruto could see. Within the wall of liquid, the face of the Three Tails could be seen, floating in the center. Its one eye was covered by its gray, spiked shell. Its skin was a deep red, eyes glowing with power. So, you tailed beasts have personalities? Naruto finally asked. We are beings of chakra. What you call emotions are little more than fluctuations in our energy. Yet here you are, without any chakra to make your body, Naruto retorted. Don't get snappy with me, child. Otherwise, I shall become that annoyance my brother said I would be, the Three Tails replied, its image fading into the water. Naruto felt for the headband around his neck. He lifted it to his nose. Haku's scent had long since vanished, but it still brought a sense of comfort. It was possibly the only thing keeping the two-tailed beasts at bay. He forced himself to rise, the chill of winter overwhelming his fading adrenaline. He pulled his cloak closer to his body, slowly walking back towards the town in Team 10. He would have some explaining to do, both to them and Tsunade after their mission.
If you like what you just heard, consider hitting the subscribe button and bell icon to get notified about new videos. If there's a part you've missed, then check out the entire playlist on screen. If you like this story, please share it with your fellow anime lovers. Any support helps a lot. That's all for now. This is Ninja Kai, disappearing in a golden flash.